In May 2024, former President Donald Trump was convicted of 34 felonies by a jury of 12 United States citizens in New York. Though he is the only former president to have been convicted of a felony, he is not the only president to have been arrested. There has only been one other president or ex-president to have been arrested by authorities, Ulysses S. Grant. And this actually happened while he was living in the White House, making him the only sitting president to have been arrested. Grant famously loved horses, long before his time as a famous general in the Civil War. As a young man, he engaged in training horses and was a skilled horseback rider. Grant was elected the 18th president in 1868, and his love for fast horses didn't fade away. While occupying the White House, Grant became famous throughout D.C. for being seen riding fast throughout the city. Too fast. In fact, Grant was stopped and cited by D.C. police for speeding on 3 separate occasions. But the most interesting incident related to Ulysses S. Grant and his speeding horses happened in 1872, which also happened to be an election year. Police officer William Henry West, a formerly enslaved man and Civil War veteran who began working for the D.C. police in 1871, first pulled over Grant and his speeding horse-drawn carriage and issued him a warning. West had been asked by his superiors to patrol the aristocratic section of the city near the intersection of 13th and M Street to watch for speeding citizens. There was a racetrack in the Brightwood neighborhood of D.C. that Grant and others liked to frequent, and they would often get into races of their own on the way there and back. D.C. citizens in the area had complained of the danger, and so there was an increased police presence, leading to President Grant's eventual arrest. When West first pulled over the president, he informed him that he was both breaking the law and setting a poor example for his fellow citizens. There had recently been an accident in the area where a speeding carriage injured a woman and a 6-year-old child, though the guilty party had not been captured. In fact, West was in the neighborhood interviewing citizens about that accident when he saw President Grant and his speeding party come barreling through the neighborhood, leading to West pulling him over. After he was stopped, Grant reportedly said, "Well, officer, what do you want with me?" West replied, "I want to inform you, Mr. President, that you are violating the law by speeding along this street. Your fast driving, sir, has set the example for a lot of other gentlemen." Grant apologized to Officer West, and he said he wouldn't do it again. However, the very next day, President Grant was once again caught speeding by the same Officer West. According to a September 1908 interview that West gave to the Evening Star newspaper, Grant was burning up the roadway, and it took him a full city block to get his horses to stop. Grant claimed to Officer West that he had forgotten their conversation from the previous day and said, "Hang it, officer, these animals of mine are thoroughbreds, and there is no holding them." West recalled that Grant looked like, quote, "a schoolboy who had been caught in a guilty act by his teacher." After informing him that he had once again been speeding, West said, "I am very sorry, Mr. President, to have to do it, for you are the chief of the nation, and I am nothing but a policeman. But duty is duty, sir, and I will have to place you under arrest." Grant consented willingly to being taken to the police station, and he assured Officer West that he would not face punishment or retaliation for arresting the President of the United States. Grant told West that he, quote, "admired a man who did his duty." After arriving at the station, Grant paid $20 in collateral. 6 other men who were also arrested for being in the group of speeding buggies, some of them government officials, tried protesting their arrest. Grant and the other men were instructed to return the following day for a court appearance. Grant failed to appear, thus forfeiting his $20. The other men testified and criticized Officer West for arresting them. However, 32 women were present as witnesses and testified against them. The 6 men were ordered to pay heavy fines. They appealed and were rejected. The men later even tried to get Officer West fired, though President Grant reportedly sent a message to the chief of police complimenting Officer West's actions and noting that he should not face any punishment, nor would he allow it. West and President Grant reportedly crossed paths several more times throughout their lives, and would often talk of their shared love of horses. It should be noted that the only evidence of this arrest is the 1908 interview that West gave the Evening Star. However, the story was later confirmed in 2012 by the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department. Kathy Lanier, chief of police at the time, noted to WTOP News that Grant was cited 3 times for speeding by the D.C. Police Department. If you enjoyed this video, please be so kind as to subscribe to the channel and click that like button. Leave a comment, let me know your thoughts, and we'll see you next time here on Mr. Drosty History.